The PlayStation 5 Pro has officially been revealed, and developers will be releasing new and improved versions of their games that will take advantage of all that new horsepower. But what will it mean really? There are 3 key features of the PS5 Pro as explained by lead architect Mark Cerny during the announcement presentation. The upgraded GPU will allow for 45% faster rendering for gameplay, advanced ray tracing will create better lighting effects, and the AI, PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR, will help further improve graphics. And these are exactly the kind of enhancements you'll see in some of your favorite games when they're upgraded for the PS5 Pro. At a recent PlayStation 5 Pro preview event, we spoke with the technical leads of some of PlayStation's biggest games, including Marvel's Spider-Man 2, The Last of Us Part 2, and others, to discuss what improvements we can expect to see now that there's a more powerful PlayStation 5 on the market.
You okay? I'm working on it!
For Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Insomniac is taking advantage of all 3 pillars of the PS5 Pro, delivering improvements on resolution, frame rate, and ray tracing.
The first big improvement in the PlayStation 5 Pro is PSSR, which is PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution. That lets us improve our old upscaling mode. We can render at a lower resolution, bring it up to a full 4K, and get tons of extra detail out of the picture. The second big thing is there's new ray tracing hardware in the PS5 Pro. We have really nice ray trace reflections all across Spider-Man 2, and getting to run those faster and do more ray tracing is a big deal for the game.
Time to move.
And the third big thing altogether, these combine to make a new Performance Pro mode, as we're calling it. On the PS5 Pro, you get the image quality and visuals of Fidelity mode at the frame rate of Performance mode.
Top of the mind for several technical leads, including Travis McIntosh, head of technology at Naughty Dog, is that on the base PS5, players would often have to choose between Fidelity mode, which offered better resolution at lower frame rates, typically 30 FPS, or Performance mode, which raised the frame rate to 60 at the expense of better graphical textures and ray tracing. That choice is no longer necessary on the PS5 Pro, which can run games combining better resolution with higher frame rates.
Well, the number one thing is going to be the ability to play at 60 FPS and 4K. So that has been a huge deal. It makes it so we don't have to compromise. You don't have to pick between high fidelity and good performance. But there's more than that. There's also the fact that the high fidelity mode on the base PS5 actually looks even better when you're on Pro. And there are some minor performance issues in performance mode on the PS5 base model that are also much better. Very solid 60, a lot less frame drops when you get to the Pro.
But McIntosh also says that he's personally excited for PSSR, which uses AI to upscale graphics.
I would say I'm just really excited about the ability to use AI upscaling going forward as a developer, as a tech geek. We spend a lot of time worrying about pixel throughput. It's actually really tough to hit the targets of getting this many pixels through the game, and now we can focus on cool graphics stuff that we're doing as opposed to just increasing pixel count.
The horse!
We rendered the game in 1440p, and then we used the PSSR technology to upscale it to 4K. And it works just using the neural networking AI PSSR tech, produces just a way better result than previous upscalers because it can be trained not only on our game but on lots and lots of other games, and it learns and it improves. Each iteration can improve and fix graphical errors, fix artifacting, and just it learns how to make things look good. Foliage, for instance, is one example in our game that looks really good after the upscaler because the neural network is trained to do foliage really well.
For Guerrilla Games' world lighting lead, Roderick Vanderstein, the biggest changes to Horizon Forbidden West all have to do with resolution and how improved they'll be on the PS5 Pro, from better lighting to textures on characters.
A big improvement that we could make by using the PS5 Pro is we could increase the resolution, increase stability of the image, which is something that we really focused on for this patch, and various other aspects like better filtering, better shadowing, and better volumetrics. Whenever we're developing for any platform, we always try to push the quality, we always try to push the system to its limits. So there's almost limits that we can cross. With Pro, a lot of these limitations that we encountered developing for PlayStation 5 base, we could alleviate and get better resolution, increase the volumetrics, or render better forward rendering. Another thing that we were able to improve on is the rendering of forward rendered elements. So fire, holograms, but also the skin rendering and the hair rendering, where we could increase the shadow filtering to give a much more smooth and stable image.
While ray tracing has been around for a few years now, it's often been sacrificed on consoles for anyone who prefers performance mode, which according to PlayStation is a majority of players, but the PS5 Pro is now able to add better ray tracing while maintaining a higher frame rate. Just ask Jose Villeda, technical director at Avalanche Software, the developers of Hogwarts Legacy.
So one of the few things that we're able to improve on our game using PS5 Pro is that we focus on 3 areas. First, we integrated PSSR that will give us a better upscaled image technology. And second, we did focus on ray tracing. We tried to enable not only the best ray tracing capabilities, but we improve the ray tracing that we had before. We were able to bring ray tracing shadows. We were able to increase the percentage of the ray tracing reflections so they look more sharper and have more content and detail. And finally, with the GPU that we have with extra power, we can actually make sure that all our modes, our visual modes, we have fidelity with ray tracing, and performance mode are now running at better frame rate. We were targeting the following frame rates for our game. We have on the 3 visual modes. For performance mode, we target 60 frames per second, and for the fidelity modes, both for the ray tracing or without ray tracing, a 30 frames per second target mode. The way that we use PSSR is to allow us to bring an upscale technology that is much advanced of what was done in the past. In the past, we had to use some technologies that when you move the camera, you have artifacts on it. With the PSSR technology, you can actually not only improve the artifacts, but we also can actually, when there's dynamic resolution goes down, you can actually increase the quality because the PSSR is so strong that you can get a better quality output out of it.
These are all the improvements you can expect to see on games that will be upgraded for the PS5 Pro. From better resolution to performance, the PS5 Pro is looking to bump up the overall experience for existing games and hopefully remove the choice between performance mode and fidelity mode for games going forward. For more on the PlayStation 5 Pro, check out our full hardware preview. And for everything else, keep it here on IGN.